joining Garuda after a day of resting in some hot springs, collecting our thoughts of the events about to come, planning for some visitors from the west, the shinobi and the monks that you had Cronus has some experience with, and the rest of you have met and trying to capture one of the Dragon Balls that Cronus has been collecting. You guys gain favor with Vegeta, and now you plan while Vegeta's making preparations for the strategy ahead, he also prepares for the other leaders to kind of come to this meeting to discuss next steps. You guys, after doing some shopping, you guys purchase some things, make some bargains with Victor on some arrangements for him once you're done, when this whole awful thing ends and there's no more war going on in the world, or where he can finally rest at. And you guys go in for a long night's rest, and it is now morning time, and you are well rested and replenished. It's a few hours into the day as you guys in the town still bustling around waiting for the expected visitors. And it's not long before you see in the middle of the village some noise and commotion as out of nowhere around 8 individuals just magically appear in the center of Vegeta's palace, catching many of the warriors off guard and causing them to kind of posture into defense. And quickly kind of realizing it is Goku with some of his comrades that you met when you were in the West, with Krillin, his son Gohan, and Master Roshi. You also see appear next to Goku a humanoid rat with 4 humanoid turtles next to him, all wearing various colors and bandanas across their head and face. They kind of examine the area and greet it, or at least acknowledge everyone that they just appeared upon. Goku has the same sunny demeanor that he had when he first met you guys, and has an air of excitement about the day, while the rat and the turtle seem a little bit more stoic and somber. After examining the area, Master Roshi will recognize your group as well as Goku, and Master Roshi will specifically call out to you, Callie, and give you a knowing wink and smile from him. But then Goku will also give you a friendly wave.
She'll wave back and wink back, respectively.
You've made an old man very happy. He starts to kind of walk over to you, and Goku kind of grabs him by the shoulders, like, we gotta meet with Vegeta. If we don't say hello to Vegeta, he's not gonna be very happy that we just kind of waltzed around his camp. You'll notice that the rest of the visitors are also kind of scanning the area.
Cronus, it doesn't take long for them to kind of, your old master and the other turtles to kind of recognize you.
Leonard doesn't give much reaction. It's not unfriendly, but it's not welcoming either. And he turns to kind of walk towards the palace doors. The one turtle wearing the red bandana that you know as Raphael definitely looks aggravated, and body language is tense as you kind of see his fists kind of clenching a little bit as he follows in after his master with a little bit of a nudge and push from his brother Leonardo. Donatello and Michelangelo look at you though and give a little bit more of a acknowledgement. Michelangelo enough to kind of give you a smirk before following him and the others into the palace of Vegeta to start the discussions. I assume you all join in and follow them behind,
Mm-hmm.
and as you all are inside the Vegeta's throne room, you start to hear some discussions and chatter already starting to happen between some formalities and greetings between Goku, Master Roshi, and Splinter. Goku, of course, not having a lot of couth and decorum, he is already irritated Vegeta, and you see a vein kind of bulging in his head just from his the way his behavior. But he seems tolerant of him. Splinter doesn't seem to say many words until it sounds like, or he kind of is waiting for all the formalities to die down so they can get down to business and discuss what they've came here to discuss. Vegeta will kind of command the room or start speaking here once everyone settles in, and he realizes that you all are here as well as everyone else that has been invited. They'll start the conversations off, kind of recapping what your group was able to accomplish, and over the past few days while you've been aiding him. And Goku will even give you a smile at hearing this and a nod towards your direction. And then as he gets through all the serious and formalities of what has been accomplished, and Goku goes, "So you really gave them one of your Dragon Balls like that, Vegeta? Man, I thought you were gonna be a tougher to crack than that." And he kind of gives Goku a not very warm response to that, and he looks at the rest of the group, and Goku says, he goes, "But why didn't you just give them both the Dragon Balls? I think that or we could definitely use if we could use a wish to help us with this fight ahead of time. That'll surely even the odds." And Vegeta will say that it was suggested, but I am not going to take a coward's way out with the giants. We've defeated Shredder and his minions before. There's no reason we can't do it again. Splinter finally speaks up though at this point. He goes, "This conflict is way bigger than just Shredder and his giants and his rebuilt clan. There's these dark creatures that were already kind of bleeding into our world, but now that the rifts have just opened everywhere, it is just flooding through all portions of the world. These are not mere mortals and trained ninjas that we go to war with to defeat and strike down, but creatures not from this place that seem to just grow and grow. We would be a fool to not try to use a wish to try to help us in this battle." Vegeta kind of looks disapprovingly at the comment, or at Splinter as he comments, but not insulting. He seems to respect Splinter a lot more than he does Goku's feedback. Goku stretches his arms like, "Don't get me wrong, I want a good fight, but wouldn't be lying if I feel like we need a little bit of an edge going into this." Vegeta kind of welcomes you to the conversation and a little bit to say your piece as he sets it kind of opens it up for you to join. And he will even say, we discussed possibly using it for destroying the control over the giants. This time Donatello will speak up, one of the brothers, and say, "Just because we take their control over the giants away doesn't mean the giants are going to come rallying to our cause." He goes, "Some of them may just as well see us as enemies as Shredder and his men who've taken control of their minds. Are we sure that's a wise idea?"
Then fair amount of giants who would at least follow us. From experience, at least.
Leonardo will then speak up and say, then perhaps if we could not destroy the ring or the crown and return that to the giants, that would be more favorable for us in the long run. Perhaps that goodwill will rally them to the cause of the greater issues going on in this world. Vegeta kind of cuts or starts to talk as soon as he says about the greater cause of the world. He's like, I've called you together to deal with Shredder and deal with his threat against these islands in this region. And before he can finish the sentence, Splinter lets him finish the sentence, and he goes, and he kind of speaks back to Vegeta. This issue is bigger than this region. I have eyes and have heard stories across all these lands of Fantasia that have made their way back home to me. I've heard of different things that have taken place across the world, and for the moment he glances over in your group's direction. But I've also heard of some of the severe cases all around the world. The West is all but fallen, and they are one of the more mightier kingdoms that could to withstand such a assault of this magnitude. I agree that we must deal with Shredder and the threat he brings upon our lands. He goes, I will not send my ninjas in there without some kind of commitment from you, Vegeta, that we will band together and respond to this larger scale issue than just Shredder. Vegeta goes, the outside world kind of rebuttals. It says stuff about how the outside world has never really helped them in the past, and he feels no allegiance to them, and Splinter just kind of pauses and greets him with a stoic face as he finishes his points about how they have owed the rest of the world nothing. And he says, if you want our assistance in this matter, we can no longer just turn a blind eye to the plights of the rest of the world. The world is not, or the kingdoms of this, the kingdoms and their leaders do not, you do not owe anything to the kingdoms and their leaders, but we do owe this to the rest of the world and the people that live within it. And they kind of go a little bit back and forth on this philosophically, and is there anything that you guys would like to say or ask during this conversation as they're kind of all discussing these general ideas?
I think Lorna would like to pose the idea of what do we do with the wish, and would maybe wishing for all the portals that were created by the Dark Disciples, the bad guys in our game right now that I can't remember the name of because it's late.
They're forgotten.
The Forgotten. That's I'm awake. But what if we close the portals that they created, and so they can't bring any more creatures here, or they have to redo it and reinforce those portals again? Like, they know how long it took us to do it, how much it, took a toll on us, but we can't do that with every single one.
Michelangelo speaking of, or why can't we just use the wish to get rid of Shredder? And Goku and Vegeta both kind of shoot daggers at him, like, oh, that's no fun.
Because Shredder's not the problem.
But Master Roshi then speaks up in response to what you say. Laura goes, the girl makes a good point. Those creatures are flooding into every pocket of the world, and I don't know how many of us, if we all band together to finally make a final stand against these creatures. If they keep flooding in like this, it's gonna end up nothing. It's like bucketing water out of a sinking boat. We'll keep buying us some more time, but it will only take, or it won't take that much longer before they replenish their forces and come back in full force again against us. Those rifts are real issues. They're just starting to cause plagues even in our region. They had to fight through some of the creatures to even get reach Goku last when they were in our area. And I'm sure they've encountered them in more places than just our realms.
I am sure that if we close all the portals, they can just open more portals later. I suggest we go after the keys instead. Wish for the keys in our possession.
That work?
We would have to be very specific, but I mean, what's 3 people without keys compared to an army that they can continue to bring in?
You are not wrong, my shoeless friend. You're right. I'm sure that closing all the rifts would not stop those creatures from being summoned. Those creatures were starting to wander these lands before those rifts were even opened, but they were no near the quantity and the masses that they are now. Starting to get to be some parts of the dark forest and parts of these lands are not just covered by shadows, but those creatures themselves that fill the regions. You're right, though. I don't know if it would be a complete elimination of them, but it would definitely. I would hope it would at least save the bleeding a little. As for the relics, I don't know if we will have to. You would have to ask the dragon himself to see if he has the powers to interfere with Merlin's powers. I know the keys have probably served you all well, or the relics that you wield. That's why you're probably able to do some of the amazing things you have accomplished over the time you've been traveling Fantasia.
It's hard to make a decision now when there's so many things we have to do yet. The end is so close.
She was like, "Who said I was giving away my Dragon Ball?" Anyways, we had a deal to take care of this issue. And then Roshi will kind of speak. I was like, "Vegeta, don't be a fool. If we don't take anything, this is the first real advantage we've had in our court since this whole mess started happening all over. Clearly, these individuals are more than just mercenaries or hired hands. And they would have not gone through the trouble of bringing us all, or trying to facilitate and bring us all together here today, if they didn't have more in this fight than just one Dragon Ball. They could have walked away and came back to pick the Dragon Ball up for the spoils if they chose not to help us. But they're here today, so don't let your pride make you be turned into a fool. Goku will kind of also say some praises about your group, about the honor and fighting you one-on-one, and how the group respected your one-on-one duel, and how you guys came to the aid of their village. When the Ashi started to play fair or unfair. And as these conversations are ongoing, you're going to see the disposition of Splinter, Leonardo, and Leonardo kind of soften a little bit. Raphael still is kind of angered by your presence here, Cronus, and it seems like yes, as much as he tries to stay focused on this, every time he kind of your eyes meet, he seems to, frown his brow a little bit and tense up a little bit. But it seems like the others are starting to soften a little bit as they kind of are talking about all the things that you've accomplished.
Look, I think we don't really have a choice here. I don't think any of us do. I think this guy is causing too many problems for all of us here. And I think it's best we work together this one time to try and stop him. You have more advantage on your side this way.
I mean, also, if we don't want to be pragmatic, it's literally the right thing to do. If you don't stop this all together, you're all fucked. What's happening in the West is going to happen to you.
Quicker. Because they've done it before.
And you're a lot smaller, at least geographically. And we would rather not have more innocent people lost to this. Would you?
Splinter will also speak up saying, we've destroyed Shredder's clan before, but we can see how well that's stuck. It seems our fears of what wish he had asked for are true, and that's why he has come back to be what he has. I don't know what other twisted powers he also has attained, either from his evil wish or from his new alliances with these forgotten creatures. But even the last battle was a conflict. Before, they had giants and these shadowy creatures at their disposal. We must respond swiftly and critically against these, and also make sure that we do this completely with it seems the aid of these followers of Merlin. And at this time, he addresses the group, but he's looking at you, Kronos, and he kind of lingers on you, kind of sizing you up a little bit, just in the brief moment. Vegeta looks kind of frustrated that he eventually his tenseness and his stubbornness seems to dissolve in front of you, from his facial expression. Agreed. We do need to do something that will turn the tides or make in our favor. But I do agree with your pupils, Master Splinter, in that giants are a threat I feel like we can deal with, or at least is more manageable while they're controlled. And if your group, Karuta, thinks that you can sway some of the giants to align themselves with us as we fight against the Dark Ones, then I think that might be our best course of action to try and free that whatever magical device is keeping them within the Forgotten's grasps. He'll extend his hand with the Dragon Ball in it and say, "So what shall we wish for?" Master Roshi goes, "I've made my suggestion, and it would be unfair of me to impose on any kind of demand on you, seeing that you have 6 of the 7. I think we've all made very valid points Ultimately, it's our followers of Merlin's decision. Raphael seems very aggravated with that moment, and he looks like and then he starts to speak. He's like, "We're gonna just let this guy and his friends just make such a huge have such a huge power just because they did a few good deeds over our past few months."
Excuse me.
As he kind of says, Leonardo, so, Raphael.
No,
He's
no.
like, "No, I'm not done talking. You're not going to shush me, Leonardo." He goes, "This guy here, he's a loose cannon. Who wants to say we make this wish, we do what we have, and we get in there and they can't finish the job because Shredder's still pulling the strings with his little puppet over here. Shredder's already damaged him."
Lorna's gonna go over and punch him in the face.
You want to go? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Skyward just puts his hands up and goes, "Here we go."
Callie's gonna follow her, but I think because it takes a second, she still gets the punch in, but then she's gonna try and separate them.
Go ahead and make a melee attack roll.
I don't. I think it's just my strength check and proficiency.
Yeah, go ahead, do that.
So, add 5 to that. I don't. It should be on. She would rate.
No. Well, wait, I can't say no. Do what
You
do.
go to swing your fist at him, and he ducks his head in his shell real quick.
Okay.
And he kind of goes to push you back before Splinter shouts at his shoulder. He's like, "Raphael, told you no outbursts."
Lorna,
I
I told
told
you
you-
no more outbursts.
He's like, "You cannot control your temper, then you are going to cost us the mission." And he kind of starts to just squabble with Splinter a little back and forth, or almost like a parent-child relationship about how he's right and Splinter's wrong.
Callie's
He-
gonna come up to Lorna. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Splinter just says, "I made my decision by agreeing to come here in the first place, based on what we've heard, the rumors that have made its way back to us, and now hearing these stories from Goku and Vegeta, what they've accomplished just here with their short period here, seems to suggest that some lessons have learned and some things have stuck through. Go outside if you're not going to be able to control your temper."
At this point, I will step in front of Raphael as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to be like, just punch me in the face and get this over with.
Cronus.
Do you really think that's going to actually work?
Yes. He's just pissed off and angry. I'll give him 1 to calm him down now, and then I'll settle it later if he needs it.
He looks aggravated, and his master just kind of told him to walk away, and he looks like he's trying his best to control his rage, and he kind of quarter turns away and uses that slight rotation of his body to come back and just punch you squarely in the gut as hard as he can. And he kind of leans into the punch and says, "You think you could waltz right back in here and make me forget everything that you've done? You better pull your weight, or I'll make sure you regret it." And he takes this opportunity to leave after Splinter's direction, who clearly looks very frustrated and mad at his son for not listening to him. Michelangelo just kind of has these wide eyes like, that just happened. The kind of commotion settles a little bit. Splinter then will look at you and say, "His concern is not completely without merit. Who knows what kind of connection or strings the Shredder might pull pull with you once you return back to him. Once you're standing in his audience again. The evidence of what you've accomplished over late suggests that you know what's right, and yet you might have learned some things from the mistakes you made in the past. But once you go back to him, the man that broke you down and did all those terrible things to you and brought you into this world by magical means, there's no certainty that while your mind may be resolved now, that you may not falter when you're back under his gaze.
And if he falters, he has us to help him back up. He has that now.
Some people might call it a family. I believe you know the power of what a family can do. She kind of looks at the remaining turtles and where Raphael went.
Splinter's otherwise pretty calm and stoic, nature. He's really, besides a few moments of getting on his kids, even then it's been very like curt words like "don't do this" or "listen," without a bunch of long-winded bickering. He does smile a little bit at the comment, and he goes, and then nods and says, "Perhaps your new family is what has helped you change and become who you are now." He looks back over Master Roshi and Vegeta and says, "We've said our piece on what we think we should do with the wish. But I'll put my faith in Karuta to make the right decision here." So is there anything else you guys want to say?
Lorna just looks to Cronus. Just a look in her eyes. He has to make the wish after all.
I mean, I feel like it's best if we sit down and talk about this.
Sounds like a good idea.
You guys want to have a private conversation about it?
Yeah, probably.
Seeing that you're not making any immediate decision with the Dragon Balls, Vegeta will start to go into his thoughts and plans of attack for taking Hiroshima. He goes over timelines and says, "I believe all my warriors will be ready by the end of the week to amass an attack. And if we send word to the neighboring regions, maybe we can garnish a little bit more aid that the three of us are working together for one effort once more to give us any kind of aid or support in this effort." He'll look at I believe that me and our warriors can storm the gates and cause havoc, taking out most or containing all of Shredder's men and forces out in the courtyards and in their large halls. And with your help, Goku and Roshi and your monks, I think we'll be able to kind of control the battlefield and draw as much of the enemy away from Shredder and his chambers. With you, Splinter, and your clan subtly going behind lines and clearing out the threats within the walls that are not coming out to greet us first, we should be able to aptly tie up all of Shredder's forces, giving Karuta, these followers of Merlin, a chance to go strike Vegeta, strike Shredder at the heart of his palace. hopefully once the Lord is dead, and I mean dead this time, we will hopefully the rest of his forces will, the morale below enough will be enough to shaken them and cause the battle to be over quickly after. They talk about the Raditz, the secret entrances and the passageways that Raditz found and while during his time in imprisonment, and they continue to discuss it. If you are in agreement, Karuda, and you need time to discuss and prepare for this, please do so. We will iron out the remaining details of this attack. We will share our final plans with you once we have decided. Is there anything you guys want to contribute to the plans or ideas before going away for your private conversations on what wish you'd like to grant or like what wish you'd like to ask for?
I have no idea. Go ahead.
Would they be able to use Argo? Because we're not going to be able to, right? If we're crawling around in tunnels.
We don't know where we're going to be.
There was 2 secret entrances. As they talk kind of back and forth, they seem to be leaning more towards a quicker entry point. Would probably be going through the secret air passageway that Raditz that shared with them over the underwater caverns. Though both options are available. Because it sounds like from their strategy and their plans currently, they want to strike almost immediately and as a concerted effort all together at the same time. And while they may not get a complete surprise, they're sure that Shredder is preparing for them after the loss of the loss of the island and the closing of that rift. He thinks that attacking them all at once, rather than giving them a chance to respond to different, fronts, will be disruptive enough to kind of give them the edge to really overwhelm them.
So, secret tunnel assassination. Cool. Perfect.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. I think we're good. I think we understand what we have to do, and we know he has to die. Die this time. Do you know what way would be possible to kill him, like, fully dead? If that makes sense. Words are hard at the moment.
You'll say, last time we thought we killed him, there was no body. This time we need to make sure that we don't just leave him under a pile of rubble. You need to execute him. And I wouldn't discourage removing his head completely from his body and destroying the corpse if any way possible.
And we have somebody who's an expert at that.
Are you still going on about this?
It's a positive.
Splinter starts to change his opinion. He starts to grab the Dragon Ball out of your hand.
So, as part of the planning, we can figure some stuff out, yeah? We should go have that talk.
Yeah.
All right. They seem to go over details such as troop size, how many combatants from each of the clans that they think they could contribute to this effort, timing, day, when, where, how they're going to group up before they march on there. But at this point, you guys are welcome to leave and to go back to Argo or wherever you'd like to go to have more private conversations about preparations that you need to make to join them in battle here at the end of the week.
Argo?
Argo. Safest place we know.
True.
You reboard Argo, and it's just you and your group at this point on the deck of Argo.
And the bears.
And the bears.
And the wolf.
And our bears.
And the wolf.
Yes.
Get what, Whitney and Yogi?
Yes.
Alright. So, thought about the wish.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot easier to defeat things when you know they have a certain weakness, right?
Sorry, say that again?
It's a lot easier to defeat things
Mm-hmm.
when you know they have a certain weakness.
Yes.
Using the rifts to, or using the wish to close the rifts, they'll probably just open new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me Merlin's keys would not quite work with the wish to get them to us. However, if you were to put certain exploitable weaknesses in, say, the Forgotten or everything, how that might work. It's not incredibly thought out, but it's an idea.
It is an idea. My only thought to closing the portals would be that it took them this long to open them, and they've been brewing for a while, so it's not gonna be like, oh, we closed them, they reopen them within a week.
You also, the rifts didn't open until Sivius got both keys as well and shattered them.
Exactly. So, with Sivius gone, the keys in our possession, they might not be able to open them. Because, from what
Potentially, yeah.
remember, and I'm scrolling and finding it in my notes, it can't be that far. There you are. Sorry, cat. I just can't with this cat. They only have 3 keys. 4 keys. They don't have a pair. They will never be able to open the portals again. Unless somehow, some way, one of us dies and they get a key.
I think the thing we're stuck with is, do we use the wish for a little bit of help now, but long term can be more beneficial for us? Or do we get the crown, or do we try to wish for the crown? So the giants will help us, which is an immediate impact here.
I mean,
So, I don't actually know what this crown looks like, but I do have access to magics that could help us potentially find it, if somebody could describe it really well.
has Lorna...
Also,
Go ahead.
figure out potentially how to kill Shredder.
I mean,
I mean, that needs to be the first thing that we ask is, what was his wish?
Yeah, I agree. But
Because
if
unfortunately, we may require to use this wish to undo his wish,
potentially, yeah.
so we can actually kill him.
We don't necessarily have to kill him. We could just imprison him forever.
but
That is also true, but also very non-humane.
and also, I love you, Cronus, but using a wish on Shredder now, how is that going to help the rest of the world when half of it is plagued by the Forgotten. I want to. If we had multiple wishes, 100%. But I think...
If only we had the 2 wish Dragon Balls.
If only.
Fantasia 2, Namek.
Someone called Dende.
I mean,
There's also the other thing, just a reminder, because it wasn't discussed, because they wouldn't really know much about this, the group that you just talked to. There is the lamp that they're trying to look for, as well as the other key in Agrabah. So that is another...
Oh shit, we can use this wish to get a lamp to make 3 more wishes.
Oh god. There's so many options.
No, that's the route to go right there.
But that's assuming that it's being... brain is not working today. Today is not the day. That's assuming it's a 3-wish lamp. So right now our options are A, closing the portals, B, wishing to know how to stop Shredder, or to stop Shredder, or to do something with that. Have the crown for the giants in our possession. Have the lamp in our possession. Right?
Okay, so if we wish for the lamp, there's a chance that, okay, so let's say there ain't no 3 wishes. Okay, at least we get 1 wish, so we get basically a do-over.
Potentially, or it's just not usable. My thought is that...
why don't we just go ask the old man?
But he
Which
left it
one?
to us to decide.
I know, but we can ask the old man if he knows anything about this lamp.
Okay.
Hang on, wait.
Actually,
What about
I
the
could-
lamp? Sorry, I just got back.
What
What
about
are we talking about?
asking that green alien guy with the little purple guy?
Yeah, I have that spell too. So, we can literally ask about certain events or goals. As long as they recur within a week. And I have a shit ton of incense.
I mean,
You could definitely message Tommy to see if he knows anything about the lamp, just for the sake of time. The folks inside talking to Vegeta won't know much about the lamp and about Agrabah. They're not from that region.
Also, what does the lamp do? Why are we talking about a lamp suddenly?
I mean, we assume it
You
gives more
know-
wishes.
Ah,
look, my one thought is that both the headband and the lamp are able to be physically acquired. There is a chance for us to find them, whereas for us to close every single portal on this world is going to kill us.
Not if we have giants on our side.
How are giants going to shut portals?
no.
They can watch our backs is what they can
Yeah.
do while we shut the portals.
I think what Meg's trying to say is that
No, this
Is
is
that
all
a-
in character conversation.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Yeah, no, this is
Nope.
all a character. We
No
get it.
poking
Gotcha.
in. I agree. Yes, they definitely could. And it would be an amazing help, but again, the item's
It-
acquirable. We
It
don't know
also
where, but
If we were to get the giants and start closing the rifts,
yes.
we can't be in that many places that quickly at once.
Exactly. The
And since the Forgotten are starting to help the Archie, closing the rift does help with that, if just not to a great scale.
Exactly, and it closed all the rift across Fantasia.
Well, I can transport us in different points of the Fantasia. I could take us to 4 different locations.
I think there's more than 4 rifts.
Well, we can get close, and then we can take the ship closer.
So you want to spend that time closing portals?
Not building an army.
We'll have an army if we get a crown.
But we could have a larger one if we close the portals and get the
I mean, you
crown.
can't get larger than a giant. I'm just saying.
You can get larger than one giant.
I think the problem with the giants is they're gonna, if we do what Shredder's doing and control them with the crown, they're gonna be pissed at us.
Exactly.
If
No,
we give
by
them the
getting the
crown,
crown, we'd be giving it back to them.
which doesn't guarantee that they're gonna help us. I mean, it's
Doesn't.
probable that they will, but there's no guarantee.
Just a reminder, because I know it's been a while. You guys did kind of talk to the storm giants and them coming about, and they kind of talked about coming to your aid once that crown was not a thing.
So honestly, we wouldn't even
Like
necessarily
Lorna
have to give it to them. Just destroy
Yeah,
it.
like Lorna said, it is obtainable by non-wish means, because you know Shredder's got it.
Well,
Or
Shredder doesn't
successful.
have- Shredder doesn't have the
The-
crown.
The tieflings do.
Well, yeah, they're with Shredder.
But still, I something as important and something as powerful that takes all of these balls to wish for, I don't think should be an item that we should be able to obtain.
Right.
Would concur.
You all were there when we closed that portal. It took forever. There were waves upon waves upon waves coming in. How many times are we going to have to do that?
Just the fact that it's going to take so much time to do that.
Exactly, and they're going to open up more portals by the time we get to another. Yes, you can
We
transport
also-
us close, 100%. But then we
We
have to
also
travel
can't-
elsewhere.
And we can't send others to do it for us.
No. And we can't split up.
And we can't do other things while we're closing the rift.
We
I
would only be able
wish-
to do one thing and not help people.
She was about to say I wish, but then thought better to say potentially a wish out loud. I hope.
All right, we're done. Now we.
As they're having this conversation, I would like backstep out of it
Okay.
and communicate with Argo to ask Kami what the lamp actually is, if he knows.
Sure. As you reach out to Kami and try to make contact, it finally does come in through after a little bit of time of reaching him, and he'll greet you, Cronus. So good to hear from you. How are things going with the Dragon Balls?
I mean, I have access to all 7.
You talked to Vegeta into giving you 2 already? You made quick work of making an ally out of Vegeta. Not an easy task to do. Have you made up your mind, or have you called me for console?
Do you know anything about something called... Oh, what is it? The Lamp of what?
The magic lamp. It's hidden in the I want to say the wrong thing. The Cave of Wonders. I always want to say the Chamber of Secrets, but it's the Cave of Wonders in Agrabah.
No, mixing franchises there.
Yeah, right. I know of such a twisted lamp, yes.
No, twisted doesn't make it sound good.
The lamp is now the prison of an evil genie that was locked away years ago. Sealed away in the chamber where the relic is also hidden, in hopes that it may never see the light of day, and that its genie Jafar will never escape from it, and impose his evil on the world again. It is true, though, the lamp does grant 3 wishes, but that Jafar is cruel and wicked. Everything he seems to grant comes with his own seems to be serving his own agenda and goal to finally be released from the lamp's bonds.
All right.
Mr. Popo sends his love.
Alright, I will step back into the
Is
conversation.
there anything else that I can answer for you, Brodus?
Oh, no, not right now.
I was... Farewell.
Wait for that awkward silence while one of us hangs up the phone.
You hang up. No, you hang up.
I will step back into a conversation with everyone else.
Okay.
And then pretty much when there's like a moment of silence going on, they
Probably when you come back, because I think probably at least 2 of us saw you.
be like, yeah, so the lamp idea is a terrible idea, so we're not going that route.
Alright.
Do what?
I said alright.
Yeah, when he started the conversation as it's a twisted thing, that immediately red flagged it.
Yeah, normally not a good thing. Good things are never really twisted, if you've noticed.
Right, so what are we gonna wish for?
Oh, I think it needs to be the portals.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be the portals. We can try to find its location, I guess. And have it be, instead of like trying to fight the giants, trying to free the giants.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I guess we're wishing for the portals to be closed. Celine,
Yeah.
Skybor.
Sounds good.
All right. Anything else? Skyward? Any other blats? Any other?
Nope.
All right. As you guys make your decisions, you can go ahead and start the ritual that Tommy would have shared with you before. Do you want to do it in the courtyard or on Argo?
I would do it in the courtyard. It's not like I would be trying to hide the wish.
Okay.
Summon the dragon. Immediately, Vegeta rushed in. I wish for immortality.
That's not canon. It would be for the world's softest pair of underwear.
What?
The true concerns.
I mean, that was the first wish made on the original show.
No.
Seriously?
There's a big long running joke with it. Because the one evil guy was about the wish for immortality. And one of the side characters ran in and stole the wish. And that's what he
No.
yelled out.
No, he didn't want to wish for immortality. He wanted to wish to rule the world.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That was
Oh
Pilaf.
my god.
You lost the world for underwear.
Yep.
Yep.
For the world's softest pair.
Which then he proceeded to wear on his head for like the rest of the season.
No.
Yeah.
You did a soft hat.
I'll say the first Dragon Ball, although being a classic, does not age very well.
No.
The first, I'm trying to get my wife to watch it.
By
and,
American standards, it didn't age well.
like, not at all.
Yeah.
I think like the first 10 episodes is Goku walking around patting everyone in the privates to figure out if they're a girl or a boy.
What?
Right.
Oh yeah, that probably didn't age well.
Not at all.
No.
It gets worse than that, but I'll leave it there. Anyways,
I want to ask how, but I was in band, so I know that's a bad idea.
right. So anyways, you guys are finish your discussions and your plans, and you return to the courtyard, and you place the Dragon Balls in a circle, kind of as Kami had shared with you on how to kind of invoke the dragon and call it forward. And you shout, rise eternal dragon, and it all of a sudden the sky starts to blacken, the orbs start to glow in synchronous kind of pattern where they go dark, then bright, dark, and then bright again until they're just bright yellow orbs that are glowing on the ground in this courtyard. As the sky darkens and lightning strikes off at the distance, the clouds in the sky start to twist and move in irregular wind-shaped patterns that seem to be kind of pushing away from where this ritual is taking place. It grabs the attention of everyone, and everything in the courtyard comes to a complete stop as everyone kind of watches this spectacle. And those that were inside still talking have all come outside to be part of this ritual and watch it be conducted. As lightning starts to strike more and more, the lightning then starts to strike where these orbs are placed repeatedly in the same spot over and over and over again. And each time, the lightning turns from a normal bolt and it starts to become more jagged. And then as it becomes more jagged, it starts to become more twisting lines. And they start to thicken and thicken to eventually the lightning starts to take the shape of a long, endless serpentine-like dragon that seems to be flowing with no limit to its body, doing twists and turns over itself, almost like coils of a snake, where snakes are balling and twisting amongst themselves until he shoots up, and you see this massive dragon just lording over the entire area. His size is just tremendous, and it is clearly this dragon is visible from miles and miles and miles and miles away in the distance, affecting the weather in all parts of this region. It will eventually take shape and be this long serpentine green-like dragon with horns, and it starts to look down at you all who summoned it, and he'll say, "You summoned me, the eternal dragon. What is your wish?"
I will step forward and be like, first I have a request. Can you tell me what Shredder's wish was years ago?
Rokusaki was the last to wish on the Dragon Balls, and he had wished for immortality. with that granted, he has not aged a day since, and will no longer and will never fall victim to disease or the death related to age.
But he can still be killed. That wasn't a question, that was a statement.
That's how I took it.
He'll agree. No, he'll hear you and say, like, yes, it will not stop anyone from killing him.
All right. Second question before I make this with. If I were to request that we have rifts closed, would I be able to word it in such a way that everything from those rifts gets sucked back into them as they close?
Losing the rifts would be require a great deal of power. I am not sure if that would be within my power, but you must ask the wish properly for me to grant it. Quote unquote, no string wishing.
It was worth a shot.
That doesn't mean you can't ask it in a certain way. You just have to think of what way would do that, because there's repercussions to that too. Like, for example, if you're like, return the world to where it was like before Sivius destroyed the keys and stuff, what other things would be restored in addition?
Yeah, we might lose our keys.
So
You might lose me entirely.
fresh people.
But hey, Joseph will be back.
And Anika.
Maybe don't do that.
Yeah, maybe not.
Love the little halfling, but Callie's a little bit more fun.
Alright, let's go with this route.
Oh, are you ready for this?
Oh yeah, I'm just winging this. Let's do this.
Oh no.
I mean, seriously, that's how it's worked out.
You're not
all the
wrong.
time. You've all somehow got here, me included, just as a different person, by the skin of our teeth.
Yep. So, I wish all creatures from what's that area called?
Oh, Batster. I don't know.
The land of the
The
forgotten.
veil.
The
The
veil.
veil? Okay.
No.
I wish all creatures that are native to the Vale return to the Vale, and the rifts permanently close behind them.
Shenron will speak. That is 2 wishes. What is your wish?
Alright, let's permanently close the cosmic rifts in the Vale.
You see him kind of glow a little bit as he looks to be trying to understand and fulfill your wish, maybe. And eventually you see his red eyes glow very bright and then go back to its normal red hue, and he says, "Your wish has been granted." And then at that point, he turns back into lightning, and shoots back into the orbs of the ground and you start to see the orbs levitate off the ground and start spinning in circles and circles as they kind of levitate up into the sky. And as the sky, you see these rings of orbs just spinning and spinning, and then eventually they just stop. They freeze in the dark night sky, and they just shoot in various different directions, scattering themselves across the world of Fantasia once again. The sky returns back to the normal weather it was in the area before you made the wish, and everyone just kind of looks on in amazement at what they just witnessed. Where the wish, or where the orbs were taken as everyone looked kind of up to the sky, moments later you are going to see a copper colored dragon's egg, kind of where the orbs were resting previously.
All right, another one.
So, like, you found a dragon egg, right? That's
Oh,
right.
yeah, so that's not what this is.
You sure?
Are you sure?
This is another Wishborn.
Did you just give birth to another freaking kid?
Wait. What? I was not prepared. What?
Your Cronus just had a wish baby with another dragon.
So that's where Cronus came from, was from
Uh-huh.
Shredder's wish.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And so every time there's a wish, there's
Uh-huh.
a new wish born.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but like, I figured a wishborn was like they wish for a child, not you had a wish, therefore, hello, parenthood.
Surprise. Okay.
I mean, talk about baby trapping somebody.
Right? Look, Cronus, I don't know about this man. I wasn't prepared.
You know, there is
You've got a
protection
little
out there.
bit to be prepared, Buttercup, but like,
What would have happened if you wished for not having a wishborn?
Right?
2 shredders.
Ah.
I feel like some cosmic entity would have been really mad at us.
It's
The
like
Dragon
dividing by
Ball
0.
self-implode. They don't scatter. They just detonate. Through the dust kind of settles, Splinter will kind of walk out to you, Cronus, and address you kind of one-on-one, giving you a respectful bow of his head. He goes, I believe you made the right decision. And this new Wishborn being born onto this world could be destined to do great many things just like you. Imagine what kind of life it could live if it does it, if it's not treated unfortunately like you were under the command of Shredder beforehand.
I will lean over and pick up the egg. And then I will hand it over to Splinter. And be like, I agree.
Smiles and nods, takes the egg from you, and looks, and he kind of brings you in a little bit closer to say something privately to you, and I'm going to move you to another channel real quick. He'll lean in as he takes the egg from you, whisper something that only you and him can hear, and he says, "You never failed me, Cronus. I failed you in not being able to rescue you or save you for what Shredder had done to you. I'm happy that you have found new family to save you and do things for you that I could never do for you as your mentor or your father. You continue to prove to me that the banishment and that mercy was the best decision that I could have made for you, and I'm happy to see how far you've come. You should be very proud of yourself for who you have become and who you are standing before me today."
I mean, actually, you've done everything by sending me on this path, so. And it's not over yet, so.
That coming days will yield for us. This is a victory. The Shredder could not take his evil wish and corrupt the Wishborn that came from it. You going to stand against your maker is a victory. And he will lean out and kind of take some of his robes and stuff to swaddle the egg, cover it up a little bit, just give it a little bit more warmth and protection. And he turns to kind of go back to the other leaders as he starts to talk to Donatello or Leonardo on seemingly the preparations he wants to make to get the egg home into safety as soon as possible. And I'm going to move you back. And you all see Splinter walking away with the egg bound in some of the robes and cloaks, and he's talking to Leonardo about the preparations he's planning and things he wants to do for the Wishborn egg until a time where it can hatch. Is there anything else you guys would like to do, say, ask?
Hey, Cronus, why didn't you wish for just have a permanent disconnection of the veil from this realm, permanently sealing the rifts as well as any future rifts?
I mean, in hindsight, maybe, but what happens if for some reason we still need the veil?
What good is the veil?
Bringing Anika back?
What good is the veil?
Wow! Laura punches Skyboard.
Hey!
No, it doesn't actually. Right.
Well, this spectacle has definitely gotten more attention and clout for your group amongst the warriors there, who all want to talk to you and mingle with you for the remainder of this day. Is there anything special that you guys would like to do this day and or leading up to the day you guys plan to strike or march on Shredder's Island and confront him?
Actually, I would like to go to Goku.
Sure, go for it.
Yeah, so that whole thing about you being able to just teleport a bunch of people here,
Yeah.
how in the hell do you do that?
Lots and lots of training. Took me quite a while to perfect the technique.
Okay, so
I
not
have to
something I can
focus-
kind
I
of
have
pick
to-
up on the fly.
Maybe you could have wished for it. No, he'll say, no, you have to be able to sense and seek the energy you're looking for. Something to bind to and to travel to. I never confronted Shredder, so I was able to. Met Vegeta in the past, so it was easy for me to kind of bind onto him.
So were you able to search and bind to things that you've never met before? If it's like a very specific thing.
I can search areas I've been to. I can search for people I've met before, but not for things or people I've never seen or can't identify. No.
And real quick, what's the name of the city that Lorna's from?
Lawrence from Galos.
I would ask if he
Oh,
has been
Dunbrook.
taking. Do what?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren. I think it's Dunbrook, right? Or what's the name?
Yeah.
Dunbrook. Can't say that I have traveled that far north.
I was hoping you might be able to find not a baby dragon, technically an age. It's still a baby dragon, but like weird things happen. So it's like a much larger dragon now than a baby size. I was hoping you might be able to find it and bring it here.
I wish I could, but without meeting the dragon first, I don't think I'll be able to lock onto a specific dragon in this world.
Fair enough.
That was really cool. It's been a while since Shenron has appeared. Glad I got to witness it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
All right. As the kind of crowds, again, they kind of are swarming and talking to you all and asking you all sorts of questions about where you know, past stories, accomplishments, places you've been. The leaders and their confidants kind of go into the throne room of Vegeta to kind of continue ironing out the plans for their approach to Shredder. Is there anything else you guys would like to do today or this week leading up to the attack on Shredder's Island?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lorna would like to call any of the like former leaders and be like, hey, we did a thing. If you know of any portals, check that they're closed, because I think we closed them all.
Okay.
And
Do you
just
want
kind
to
of
do that
inform
the day of, or do you want to do that over the week to kind of see?
probably like
how
the next day. Being
Okay.
like, we did a lot today. We did a big thing. Let's, chill, and then I'll let them know.
Sure. Anything else anyone wants to do that day? Otherwise, I'll kind of skip forward to the things you're wanting to do leading up to the attack.
So
During
we're going to
or leading up.
do a shredder.
Mhm.
I want to change my spells real quick.
Okay. You have.
I mean, you got a
6
couple
days.
days.
Yeah, you got like 6
Yeah,
days.
well, as a player, I have to read through all the spells.
That's true.
Okay.
Also, if you're gonna go on like a divination thing, Howard/Skyboard, I can help you with that because I also have that spell.
Plus, time
I
goes through
can't-
the week. Or go ahead. What was that, Howard?
I mean, I can't really get rid of divination. That's like my subclass thing.
Oh, fair.
Well, as you guys over the next few days, the next day you can start to reach out to different leaders around the world, and to much success, you hear from different leaders kind of exclaim that you in excitement that you Garuda are responsible for closing of the rifts, and as far west as whose situation probably looked the most dire out of all the kingdoms in the world, said it's been the first time that they've actually been able to catch their breath and stop the march from the Forgotten and their armies upon Glimidir. With that, Snow White is extremely grateful, and she goes, with these rifts closed and the Forgotten not flooding through, we might be able to maintain or hold this position until we can get support for the rest of the kingdoms. And with the rifts closed around the world, hopefully the other kings will be able to send aid quicker, considering all the things that you've accomplished upon your travels and dealing with the other threats in those lands. And so seemingly all the rifts have been closed out west. You talk to the king, some of the leaders in Noros, and they share the same thing. You know, Noros is no longer affected by Forgotten or the frozen wastes from when Elsa was in trouble. Galos is not under threat of any kind of invaders. Grey Coast is also in great shape with no dark creatures like rifts open in their lands attacking them. You call all over the world to the various leaders that you met, and these rifts are closing all over just as you had wished. They do share that there are still creatures of darkness that the Forgotten and the Evil Empress is still able to summon to command, but it's just not hordes of dark creatures spilling out into their lands like it was before, and it's slowly kind of giving or rebalancing the odds for them. The West is in by no means able to lead an offensive against them against the Evil Empress and her forces on their own, but the rest of the world is now able to catch their breath, and they seem excited after you talk to them, excited that they might be able to start focusing on rebuilding and sending support to the West to confront the Evil Empress now.
What about those, was it twins that we met in the rift?
The twins?
Yeah,
Yeah.
do you remember it was
Laura and shoot, who was? I gotta look up their names. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
because they were still in the rift last time we talked.
No,
with
they
them,
weren't.
I believe.
No, they got out with you,
They got out.
or they
Yeah.
went back to.
They were in Olympus.
Okay.
And they got. Oh yeah, because you got to choose where you guys left Olympus, I believe, right? And they chose to go back to the West.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And then
idiot.
Olympus
Like
no
it-
longer has to
They
fight.
were well-meaning kids that you and I played.
What was that, Sling?
Olympus no longer has to fight against their rift either, right?
Correct. That's what all the leaders are saying. They're able now, because you dealt with the not only the rifts in their lands, but because you guys have traveled through there and dealt with the other immediate threats and forces that weren't just simply the dark creatures. They're now saying that they might be able to hold their own in the cleanup method or cleanup aftermath, and start preparing to send troops out west to confront and deal with the marching forces of the Empress herself. Communications with across the world, everyone that you've met that has had these mirrors before are confirming this, and now it seems that the flooding of the lands is down to just the trickle it was before the rifts were opened. And this is kind of the first time these kingdoms have had a chance to even think about amassing any kind of force to send outside of their lands.
Amazing. You guys had helped.
I mean, yeah.
Skywar or Cronus, anything you guys want to do over the next 6 days? Or Celine?
I got nothing.
Okay. You want to give your dog a name?
I do have one I want to do.
Sure, what do you want to do, Callie?
I eventually, after like a day or two, want to go talk to Raphael.
Okay. You'll have to do it probably the next day after the 2 days or so. They're going to be heading back to their you know, uh, basing on the words, but their clans to start gathering their forces and communicating the plan that's happening within the week. But yeah, so what would you like to talk to Raphael about?
After paying attention with Cronus and watching him deck the shit out of him, she's gonna walk up, wait until he at least sees her, and just, do we have to worry about you putting a knife in his back or side?
I'm not the one you had to, or I'm not the one with that can't be trusted. He goes, as long as Cronus doesn't backstab us and pulls his weight, you'll get no issues from me. But I gotta say, I didn't expect to see what I saw over the past few days. And it's probably the first time he's not been so intense.
Yeah, so I've heard. I was about to ask if you were one who stays in the past, but if you've already started to see what's in front of you, I trust you won't be a reason something bad goes happen. Just
He'll kind of laugh and say, I'm not one to quickly forgive and forget, but
that's fine.
we're here to do a mission. I don't plan on letting Splinter down or anyone else down. We're doing this for not just our lands, but everyone. Not for any
Sure.
personal vendettas.
Good. I would hate for your personal vendetta to get in the way. And I do actually genuinely hope that you see he's changed. I don't know how much control Shredder had over him before, but from what I've heard, he's a good man, and from what I've seen, hopefully you see the same things.
He'll nod to you. He's not the
Safe
same.
travels.
He's not the same person I remember. That's all I can say.
None of us are. Safe travels. And she'll walk away. And then, as she kind of comes back to the group, eventually she goes, Raphael won't be an issue.
Better fucking not be.
Also on two separate fronts. I don't blame you for punching him. And then maybe we should really stop joking about her cutting off people's heads in some situations.
Yeah.
Except for Shredder, who they specifically told to cut off their head.
Except for that.
No. That, yeah. I mean, that I also, like... You know, there's some old legends about, like, cutting people who are hard to kill up into multiple pieces, burning them, spreading their ashes in multiple flowing things of water. It's an option.
Noted.
It's like that may be technically how you potentially kill vampires, but still.
We don't know how far the magic extends. It could just bring the ashes together over time and he reforms.
But then, like, we could drop one in a lake. Lakes don't go to outside sources.
True.
Put, like, a bag somewhere, I don't know, in an urn? In an
Yeah.
opium den or something?
Oh.
You don't smoke ashes.
What if they get mixed up? Somebody
Opium
could...
is a leaf. Like, it's
Well-
not powder.
There are, things known to have be a white powdery substance. I'm sure somebody might accidentally sniff some ashes.
You do realize ashes are grey, right?
What if they're colorblind?
With white and grey?
I don't know.
Lorna's gone through some shit over the past few months. She's picked up a bad habit along the way.
Oh boy. My drugs are white.
She's
They're
not
kind of like
raging.
ashes.
She's not been raging what she's been
sniffing the
tweaking this whole
leftover
time.
purple freaking fairy powder everybody had?
I mean, Cronus has some. He's my supplier.
Everybody did. So did you, because we didn't have to fly out of Neverland.
Do I?
Yeah. We only used one of them. We flew in there and then we got
Oh.
teleported out. So Anika technically had one too.
What we could do, burn him into ashes, and then pour his ashes in molten gold, and then you can turn those golds into coins, and then he will spread the currency throughout the world.
That's actually not a bad idea. Do you know Smith?
Nope. I'm sure someone around here does.
Yeah.
Oh,
They have to have weapons from somewhere. They're not all wood.
No. It's a very good idea.
Something else before they leave. I would actually take Lorna over and introduce her to Splinter and the other four.
She's going to meet your parent?
Oh no, Lorna was not prepared for this.
They greet you as warmly as they have been, kind of. They're not quite back to chummy chums, although things are going pretty well right now. But Michelangelo is probably the most receptive and warm towards the greeting. Grabbing your hand and shaking it very energetically. You get a more stoic nod from Raphael, and Leonardo will kind of give you a solemn bow, and Donatello will also, shake your hand and to introduce himself to you directly. And Splinter will give you just a kind of warm and accepting smile of, just happy to meet you.
Lorna, will greet them in turn and kind of eye Raphael and go over to him. Now you see the reason why I tried to punch you?
He just kind of laughs and then reaches his hand out to kind of push you on your shoulder. Not like to hurt you, but just kind of like messing with you. And just kind of gives you a friendly shove and of the shoulder and says, "No sweat. Yeah, laying a finger on me anyways."
He can see the temptation to punch him again. Goes through her eyes. But
And
she
he
won't.
enjoys it. He seems to take a little pleasure in antagonizing you a little bit.
Clearly.
As they get prepared, this is the day they're preparing to head out with Goku back to their places, and Raphael will kind of reach out to you, courteously. See you in a few days. Let's get the mission done. That's probably the closest to a "Hey, we're cool" comment you're gonna get from Raphael.
Yeah, to try to help lessen the intensity of the tense nature here, I'm actually going to pull my size out and hand them over to him and pretty much be like, what do you think? Since I know that's growing up, that was always his thing.
Your relic 5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's pretty intense and a serious person, but you see his eyes kind of light up looking over him and, balancing them, spinning them in his hand and seeing if he can catch them in the perfect position. and he seems very impressed with just the quality of these scythes and just everything from the weight and how they kind of shift between his palms and how he can kind of dexterously move them around. He'll hand them back. He's like, I don't know how someone like you ended up with all the cool shit.
Because he got put in jail the first time I met him, that's why.
What? Splinter shouts.
Was I not supposed to say that?
I take everything back. No. But it's a nice non-tense moment, as not brooding as Raphael can try to be, to at least bring a good closure to this reunion, and a sense of optimism to your reuniting here shortly in the days to come. Anything else anyone would like to do? Okay, so over the next few days, you guys do, you get all your, you definitely make time to rest, prepare your spells, come up, iron out the final details of what you hope to do when you arrive. And on the day before the attack, everyone from the monasteries to the west and the shinobi, the palace has never been so packed and full. They've ran out of dwellings, and now there's tents inside the wall proper, inside the city proper, but even tents and fortifications that have expanded past the walls of Vegeta's palace. Vegeta kind of goes on his description of the strategy. It hasn't changed much from when you last talked. And he says that him and his warriors will storm the gate and confront the forces head first, dealing with the giants, the dark creatures of darkness, and the Ashi who are foolish enough to come meet them out in the open. He'll then describe how Goku and the monks will also join them in that fight, and he'll kind of mention that there's an urgency that him and his group get into the inside of the stronghold as quickly as they can, and and get indoors as soon as they can. He'll also go over how the shinobi plan to infiltrate through a little bit more subtly into those walls to help kind of clear out the strongholds, open up gates, remove blockades that would otherwise prevent Goku or the warriors' assault on the stronghold and moving into the place. And he said that he announces the plan to leave the next day in the late evening hours. The next day it comes, and the air is tense, and everyone starts to prepare and load up on ships, flying creatures, and you and Argo to start heading to the island of Shredder, Hiroshima. You all start sailing and flying towards the island, and you see the island off in the distance start to come into view. And that's where we will pick up next session, with Hiroshima here starting to become visible as you fly closer and closer to it.